Hello, 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 everyone. My name is Shel Anderson, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I am doing short lunch break with Shel videos Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon Central Standard Time, and I'm also here on Wednesday nights at 6:30. This week we are using the Pretty Birds bundle. This is found on page 103 of the annual catalog. So we are going to get started. I'm just going to change out my cameras here and we are going to get started. All right, we are ready to go. I have chosen Memento Black ink for our ink today. And our card base is also going to be black. So I'm going to bring in a piece of paper here so that you guys can see better what I'm doing. And I am just going to get this card base scored and burnished, and we will get going. All right, we're going to put some pieces aside and we're going to work on our focal image. And what we're going to do today is we are going to not only create our focal image, but we are going to create our own DSP. So I have a piece of basic white here, and I am just going to start randomly stamping these birds onto this piece of cardstock. You'll notice that some are going off the edge, some are staying on. That's good because it makes it look more random, which is what we want. All right, that was pretty easy, right? Then we'll just grab our chamois and clean our stamp. And we are done with our ink. Let's put that away before I create a hot mess. All right, now we are going to grab some Stampin' blends. And I think we're going to go with dark parakeet, dark Tahitian tide, dark mango, and light and dark sweet sorbet. Oh, we should have some light soft suede for the branches. So let's do those first. This is going to be pretty quick coloring because I'm not doing any blending of colors. If you choose to do that, that's great. But for the purposes of this video, and frankly, most of my videos, I like to keep things simple, quick, and easy because that seems to appeal to most of us. We want to create beautiful things, but we want them to be easy and quick. So the hardest part of this card, well, nothing is hard. Absolutely nothing on this card is hard. The most time-consuming part of this card is what I'm doing right now, and that is coloring the birds. All right, so, whoa, did you see that? Holy moly. I went to take the cover off the blend and I pulled the whole lid right off it. All right, I am just going to touch each of these beaks with the Mango Melody. They don't have to be perfect because you're not going to be able to see them. To be honest, you just need a little dot of color on each one of those. And if you stick around to the end of this video, I've got another card to share with you using this set that's a little bit different. And if you stick around all week, you're going to see lots and lots of these cards. All right, so we're done with those two. Let's start coloring some of these birds. And I'm going to do this different. I'm going to do different colored birds, but they're all going to, the entire bird's going to be one color. And this one I'm going to do 2 green ones. On this one I'm just going to do 1 green one. Like I said, it's going to be, I like to call it fast and dirty. Just get the color on there. And it's all going to work out in the end. So we'll do 2 on this one. And we'll do 1 on this one. And you see that I'm just trying to be random with this, but space out the green so that all the green is not in one particular place. And then I'm just going to continue on with another color once I get some green in each area on each branch. I'm just going to do this one that's off the edge. And I see I missed his beak. There we go. All right, that's it for green. Now we're going to go on to light sweet sorbet. So we'll do 1 there. Maybe we'll do 2 on this one. You know, I think it might be easier to continue this pattern if I also chose another color. We'll see how it plays out. I don't know about you, but I find coloring so relaxing. I could sit, my favorite thing to do is sit in front of the TV and just color images, and then you can just die cut them all later for cards. Let's do this guy. I want to make sure that I have at least 1 of each on the cards or on the branch. This one will do 2. A little bit more difficult because they're tinier images. That's okay. We'll get her done. And I have brought in the dark sweet sorbet, but I am not going to use it. Now I'm going to bring in the dark Tahitian Tide. I'm trying to use bright colors that are going to pop against the black cardstock. That was my plan anyway. Sitting here as I'm coloring these, wondering what other colors, other color I could use that's going to be bright. Pinks, any bright pinks are out because I've used the sweet sorbet. So maybe a yellow. Like a daffodil would be nice. And we'll do this guy. Oops, better do his tail. All right. So I think I'm just going to grab a yellow. Let's go for it. This one is actually, oops, wrong end. This one is actually a retired color. This is Pineapple Punch. Do you remember that one? And as you can see, it is a nice bright color. If you don't have this one from days gone by, you can definitely use Daffodil. And I think this was a good choice to add. Whoop, we missed a tail. We missed several now that I'm looking. There's a blue one there. And there's a red one here. And a green one here. Funny. I think we're good. We just finished these yellow ones. And we should be okay. There we go. I think that looks okay. There's a tail feather here that I'm just going to fill in. All right, now we are going to bring a card back in, and I have some, that is not sweet sorbet, that looks like real red. Let's see if we can fix that. Do I have any scrap? I do. Now, that would have been bad, putting a red base with sweet sorbet. Let's measure this up and see what it is. It is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. There we go. That back in the scrap box. And now we'll have the right color. All right, so I'm going to check that out. Isn't that pretty? I love the pop. And I am going to look at some ribbon here. And I think I'm going to go with this one. Yep, I am. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer this focal image on the sweet sorbet. And there's going to be just a wee little border all the way around. Now I am going to wrap. This is metallic Tahitian Tide. I'm going to wrap this around here and tie it off in the back. And you're thinking, what is she doing? Well, you'll see here in a minute. I have an idea. Let's cut this off. All right. I have done a tag in the sweet sorbet in black, and I am going to just have this little bit of ribbon showing. So I'm going to grab some dimensionals, and we will pop this up on dimensionals above and below the ribbon. And we're going to pop that in place like so. And then, actually, yeah, I'm going to use dimensionals on here too. I think that because I have that ribbon on there, it's going to be smarter for me to use dimensionals because it's going to give that ribbon a little place and it's not going to look so bulky. So we will pop these off, and why does that not look right? Let me grab my paper trimmer. Make sure we get this right. And that looks better. It was out just a smidge. There we go. Now we pop that into place. Now we can play with this and see, where did I put my bow maker? There it is. See if we can, you know what? I'm going to try to make a loopy bow. I've tried a couple of these and some have been successful. Some have not. So we will see what happens. I'm going to try a triple. Sounds like I'm a gymnast. I'm going to try a triple. Huh. All right, let's cut that off and tie it off. Whoops, maybe. Small thumbs. Never works when you're trying to do something live. Or never works for me. And let's grab those tails together. Pull them tight. Slide it in place. All right. Let me do another little notch now that I've got it where I want it. All right. Not too shabby. I need a glue dot. And I have a cajillion of these paper pumpkin glue dots. So I'm going to use one of those to put on the back of my bow. We'll peel off that little layer and stick that in place. There we have it. What do you think? Pretty cool, eh? All right, let's see if we can find a little bit of bling. Let's go with just some basic rhinestones, I think. Maybe we'll color them with the Tahitian Tide Stampin' Blend to make them the turquoise color. What do you think of that idea? All right, I need well, if I can get it picked up. There we go. Put one in that open space. One in that open space. And lesser. One. Where do I want this one? There's a lot going on down there. Let's put it up there. And that just adds a little bit of bling to go with that ribbon. What do you think? Bring that up close to the camera so you can see it. Isn't that cool? All right, and here, as promised, is the one that I did previously. This one I did in Tahitian Tide, Sweet Sorbet. And this one I colored the birds different colors. They're on the same body. So there's two that you can look at and see which one you like best. I think this one's a little more realistic looking for the birds, but plainer. And this one here is just a little more in your face, a little bolder. Anyway, that, my friends, is my cards for today. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you back here real soon. I'm here Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon Central Standard Time, and Wednesday nights at 6:30. That's all for now. Bye-bye.